line that branched from the comic for Shazam, also known as Captain Marvel. Shazam appeared in 1940, and the word Shazam really means four things. First, it's the name of the wizard that Billy Batson received his powers from to become Captain Marvel. Second, it's a magic word that Billy says to become Captain Marvel.
Shazam?
It's also an acronym, which is used to describe the 6 elders where Captain Marvel gets his powers from.
The wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, courage of Achilles, and speed of Mercury.
And lastly, it's the other name that Captain Marvel goes by. To understand a little bit more about Black Adam, we have to understand about the wizard Shazam. The wizard is a sorcerer who lives at the Rock of Eternity, and he's said to have been fighting evil for thousands of years, but now he's looking to retire. One of his most notable feats was defeating the 7 deadly sins, who are demons, and keeping them in prison. This is where Black Adam comes in. The wizard, after a life of fighting evil, has found a successor. His name is Tuff Adam, and he was a slave and chosen by the wizard Shazam for his heroic acts and courage to become Shazam's new champion. But Shazam's daughter collaborated with the Egyptian god Set and bestowed Tuff Adam with the powers of 6 Egyptian gods. So he technically doesn't get the same powers as the wizard. These 6 Egyptian gods are what allow him his superhuman capabilities. However, the problem with Tuff Adam is that he was not pure of heart. Thousands of years earlier, when he was chosen to be the successor to Shazam, he turned to the dark side and used his powers for evil, resulting in the 7 deadly sins being unleashed. At this point, the wizard renamed him to Black Adam. The 7 deadly sins are the same ones that you've heard about in Christianity: lust, sloth, pride, wrath, gluttony, greed, and envy. It's interesting to note that Vox, a secular news source, commented on the 7 deadly sins in the history of Christianity when they were talking about the movie Shazam. Basically, they said that Shazam gets the idea of the 7 deadly sins right when it comes to Christianity. First century Christianity was considered to be pure. In the book of Revelation, it describes the history of the church using 7 churches that would be located in modern-day Turkey. The first church is Ephesus, and it describes the period from AD 31 to AD 100. Each church receives a message from Jesus. The pure church is described by Christ this way: I know your works, your labor, your patience, and that you cannot bear those who are evil. And you have tested those who say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars. And you have preserved and have patience, and have labored for my name's sake, and have not become weary. From about 100 to 313 AD, the Christian church became persecuted. This is what Jesus says to the church of Smyrna: Do not fear those things which you're about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. But history tells us that after the church endured its persecution, it became popular. And with this popularity, they were warned by Jesus about some unpleasant things. To the church of Pergamos, it was written, I know your works, and where you dwell, where Satan's throne is. In addition to this, they were warned that they held 2 doctrines, that of Balaam and the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Both of these put them in a condition where they were living against the principles of God. Well, as Christianity moves from purity to paganism, Christians moved away from the populated areas where the vices of the day were. They went to the desert where the monks were, and they tried to find practical ways to free themselves from the prevailing sins of the day. And while there's a lot of virtue in this, it doesn't address the issue that ultimately the battle for those sins, they start on the inside, not the outside. And that's what Vox was getting at with the movie Shazam. There is one thing that Black Adam has in common with other comic book characters, and that is he's an anti-hero. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that he's against heroes. So let's find out what an anti-hero really is. What separates them from the traditional hero type really boils down to morality and ethics. They act out of